Hello! Welcome to another edition of FTE. I am your host, Dr. Brian Latimer, and today we're going to talk about something that I really haven't had the urge to do, but everybody else seems to be clamoring about it because I've sat in faculty meetings, faculty senate, see it all in the forums and discussions with professors, and so I guess I gotta do something about it because someone's gotta calm everybody down because nobody seems to want to calm down. Generative AI. I get it. It sucks. I know for many of you it feels like this is the end of academia as we know it. But I'm here to tell you I feel fine because I love REM. And so I'm going to hopefully tell you today how you can curtail this insanity with generative AI so that you're not inundated with AI slop. And so hopefully when we get through this, you'll feel a little bit more confident in dealing with this new phenomenon that everyone is weeping about. Because in one forum post that I read recently, they were clamoring that 40% of their students in every class were using this stuff. And it's like, I'm tired of grading this, and I've lost hope for these kids. Perfectly understandable. So hopefully, again, we can have this discussion and hopefully make you feel better by using some very simple methods that will help you combat this issue. And the strategy is very simple. If they're going to go high-tech, you go low-tech. Because here's the thing. I don't know if any of you are aware of this or not, but when it comes to classes, you are the instructor of record. You get to set the rules of the game. And therefore, whatever method you prefer, you can use. So long as you meet those SLOs or whatever else you got to abide by, you can set it up the way that you like. And so there are ways and methods that we can use to curtail the use of generative AI. Okay? Here's how you do it. When it comes to that low tech, first and foremost, don't rely on the AI detection stuff. Sure, it's fine and it's quick and it's questionable. I've not yet really seen one that actually can do it proper. So I'm not saying it to be like abandon it totally, but maybe don't rely on it as much. It is not the gospel when it tries to actually do detection. So again, abandon the high tech and go for the low tech. Step 2, if we're going to go low tech, let's go really low tech. The adoption of the Blue Book. I know some of you haven't even really thought of that since you were an undergrad. But the Blue Book does wonders. Why? Because it makes them do things handwritten. And so for them, they have to think using this and not just put in a couple of prompts hoping to get a thing. So having them do that instead of handling online questionnaires on the internet or through Blackboard, Moodle, what have you, is going to go a long way. Is it more tedious? Does it suck because students' handwriting is no better than our own? Because, PhDs can't write nice ever. I mean, that's why we have doctors writing, right? If that is a commitment that you're willing to make, it's going to help you because you can't really do AI anything if you're just using a pencil and paper. Maybe that's what you should go back to when it comes to the exams. Might not hurt. Second, if you still feel the need to do this stuff electronically, which, again, viable option, maybe you don't have an alternative. Because these aren't correspondence courses and you can't send everything through snail mail anymore, everything's online, then here's what I would suggest. Start including things that require citations. Because AI generated anything most of the time will create a fabricated source. And so you can use that source to pinpoint if it's AI or not, because like I said, they will generate a source that probably doesn't even exist, because it's a mishmash of other things, just like the entire written composition is a mishmash of things. Sure, it looks pretty to them, but as I've noticed with the AI generation or summarizer Unriddle, yeah, it can summarize a thing, but it doesn't recognize context and nuance. You know, that thing that we're trying to instill in them when it comes to synthesis of ideas, instead of, you know, just a summary scan of things. It's going to go a long way there. So that's your next alternative. So far we've got the Blue Book and we've got the citations. Third, if all else fails, and you have the ability to do this, talk to the student. If you suspect things, that is a total viable thing. You're not accusing them of anything, you're just asking them questions. Because if the whole prompt is AI generated, or you feel that it is, there's a good chance that the student does not actually know what was written. Because they're not going to read it. It'll just, oh, that looks good enough, and submit it, right? So just say, hey, I'd like to have a couple minutes of your time. I need some clarification of ideas. It's not that hard, because talking to them can give you an idea of, did they do it or not? So 3 very simple low-tech things to do, including pencil and paper, the enforcement of citations and things, even if it's just from the text, right? Like, they have to cite the textbook that they were supposed to read. Do it. Because, again, these AI-generated things cannot pick that stuff up for squat. And 3, just talk to them. They probably aren't sure on everything that they wrote. And I know, like us, even though we write things constantly, we've written research and we've, you know, belabored it for months, if not years, we don't remember every little nuance of it, but we can at least give you main ideas. Most students who do this don't. So, you know, think about it that way, right? Because again, you are the instructor of record. You set the rules. So figure it out. Take power back in your classroom. If it requires this low-tech method, then do it. It's going to be more belaboring, yes, because that's the nature of things. So if they wish to actually curtail their education by doing something quick and simple, hit them with the low-tech and be tedious. That's totally acceptable. Are you meeting the SLOs? Then that's all that matters. Like, go back to chalk. Who cares about PowerPoints and all this? Just go back to the old school. Doesn't really fail. It's like I had a professor once tell me about, you know, I teach from the book. Now, I don't do PowerPoints because the book doesn't crash, which is true. Also, didn't hurt that he wrote that book, but I mean, he's not lying. So think about that sort of thing, will you? I mean, don't let this AI thing frighten you. Yes, it's demoralizing. Yes, it's painful to look at and see that students are doing things that, you know, really make you question what you're doing. But like I said, you are the instructor of record. You set the rules. You can cut this out if you really want to. Some of the best methods are the old school low-tech methods which have worked since the dawn of time. Actually making them to rely on what they got up here, not on any devices, pencil and paper. Yeah, it's more tedious. Yeah, it can suck. But you know you got honest answers out of them, whether or not they actually did what you asked. So, that's all I have for our FTE today. And as of right now, my office hours are over. get out of here. I got important things to do, like watch the paint dry.